Ocean's heart throbs with life, coral gardens bloom. A paradise that feels like another planet beneath the waves. Beneath the turquoise waters of Australia's northeast coast lies a world so vibrant, so vast, and so breathtaking that it seems almost unreal. Imagine a living wonder stretching for over 2,000 kilometers, so large it can even be seen from space. This is the Great Barrier Reef, Earth's largest living structure and one of the planet's most extraordinary natural treasures. As the sunlight dances on the ocean's surface and filters down through crystal clear waters, it illuminates an underwater kingdom filled with colors and creatures beyond imagination. This isn't just a destination, it's a journey into the very heart of life itself. And today, we're diving deep into its wonders. The Great Barrier Reef is a place where nature's creativity knows no limits. Here, more than 600 types of coral create vast, intricate gardens, forming a kaleidoscope of colors that shift and shimmer with the waves. From delicate branching corals that look like underwater forests to massive boulder corals that have grown for centuries, each structure provides a home for countless marine species. It's a delicate balance, a city under the sea, where every creature has a role in maintaining the reef's harmony. And then there's the wildlife. Over 500 species of fish dart through these waters, each adding their own splash of color to this aquatic masterpiece. From the iconic clownfish nestled safely in sea anemones, to parrotfish that graze on coral with beak-like mouths, to sleek reef sharks patrolling the deep, the reef is alive with motion. Green sea turtles glide gracefully through the currents. Manta rays sweep past like silent shadows. And if you're lucky, you might even catch sight of a gentle giant like a whale shark, the largest fish in the ocean. Every dive, every snorkel, reveals a new encounter, a new story written in the language of the sea. The Great Barrier Reef is not just a natural wonder, it's also deeply tied to Australia's cultural and spiritual heritage. For thousands of years, Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples have lived in harmony with this reef, passing down stories that describe it not only as a source of life and food, but also as a sacred place filled with meaning. To them, the reef is more than a collection of coral and fish. It is a living, breathing being, woven into the fabric of their traditions and beliefs. Experiencing the reef with this understanding makes every moment here feel even more profound. Above the surface, the reef is just as breathtaking. Tiny coral cays and islands dot the waters like jewels, offering white, sandy beaches where the jungle meets the sea. The Whitsunday Islands, nestled within the reef, are famous for their stunning beauty, especially Whitehaven Beach, with sands so pure they squeak beneath your feet. Sailboats drift lazily across turquoise waters, and the horizon feels endless, merging sky and sea into one sweeping canvas. From the air, flying over the reef reveals patterns and shapes that look like nature's own artwork, an ever-changing mosaic painted by the tides. But the reef is not just about beauty, it's about survival. This ecosystem supports an incredible diversity of life and plays a vital role in maintaining the balance of our planet. It absorbs carbon, protects coastlines, and sustains communities who depend on it for food and tourism. Standing on the edge of a boat and peering into its depths, you realize you're not just looking at a natural wonder, you're looking at the heartbeat of an entire region. Visiting the Great Barrier Reef is an experience that stirs the soul. Whether you're diving into its depths, snorkeling in the shallows, or gazing out across its endless expanse, there's a sense of awe that cannot be described, only felt. It's a reminder of how small we are in the grand design of nature, and how fortunate we are to witness something so extraordinary. Every ripple, every flash of color, every distant call of a whale feels like a whisper from another world, an invitation to connect, to appreciate, and to protect. Because the reef faces challenges: rising sea temperatures, climate change, and human activity threaten this delicate ecosystem. Yet, despite these challenges, the reef endures, adapting and continuing to inspire scientists, conservationists, and local communities are working tirelessly to safeguard its future, ensuring that generations to come will still have the chance to marvel at its wonders. Standing in the presence of the Great Barrier Reef, you can't help but feel humbled. It is vast, it is alive, and it is fragile, and it teaches us something profound. That beauty, when cherished, can be timeless. The reef isn't just Australia's greatest natural wonder, it's one of the world's greatest gifts. And for those who journey here, it is a memory that will shine brightly forever. This is the Great Barrier Reef, a living miracle, a sanctuary of life, and a reminder that some places on Earth are simply beyond imagination. From the iconic Opera House to the Harbour Bridge and Bondi Beach to the city's dynamic skyline, Sydney blends modern brilliance with coastal beauty. Imagine standing on a harbour where the skyline seems to come alive, where sails made of gleaming white concrete rise against a deep blue sky, and where a single bridge stretches like a steel rainbow across the water. This is Sydney, Australia's beating heart, a city that blends nature, culture, and modern marvels into one unforgettable experience. Sydney isn't just a destination, it's a spectacle. A place where the energy of a thriving metropolis meets the tranquility of golden beaches and the timeless beauty of the sea. If there's one city in Australia that captures the imagination of the world, it's this one. The first sight that takes your breath away is, of course, the Sydney Opera House. With its sail-like structures, it is more than just a building, it's a global icon. By day, sunlight reflects off its gleaming shells, creating dazzling patterns across the harbour. By night, the Opera House glows like a lantern, its silhouette etched against the starry sky. But it's not just a pretty facade. Inside, it's a temple of art and culture, where symphonies, operas, and world-class performances fill the air with music and emotion. Standing before it, you feel the power of human creativity, an architectural masterpiece that has become a symbol of both Australia and imagination itself. Just across the water, stretching proudly from one shore to the other, is the Sydney Harbour Bridge. Known fondly as the Koa Thanger, it's a feat of engineering that invites visitors not only to marvel from below but also to climb to its very summit. The bridge climb is a once-in-a-lifetime adventure step by step. You ascend along its massive steel arch until the city unfolds beneath you in a panoramic view that takes your breath away. From the top, the Opera House, the sparkling waters, and the sprawling cityscape all come together in one of the most iconic views on Earth. It's not just sightseeing, it's a moment of triumph. But Sydney is not only about landmarks. Its neighborhoods are alive with character and charm. The Rocks, one of the city's oldest areas, feels like a journey back in time with cobblestone streets, sandstone buildings, and bustling markets filled with artisans, food stalls, and performers. Here, history whispers through every alley, telling stories of convicts, sailors, and settlers who shaped the city centuries ago. A short walk away, Circular Quay pulses with energy. Ferries glide across the water, buskers fill the air with music, and crowds gather to soak in the views. Hop aboard a ferry, and suddenly Sydney's magic multiplies. Glide past gleaming skyscrapers, cruise by quiet bays dotted with sailboats, and watch as the city slowly gives way to wild cliffs and open ocean. Every angle reveals a different face of Sydney, a city that is as much about water as it is about land. And then, of course, there are the beaches. Few cities in the world can claim such a perfect harmony between urban life and coastal paradise. Bondi Beach is perhaps the most famous, where golden sands stretch endlessly and surfers ride the rolling waves. It's not just a beach, it's a lifestyle. The Bondi to Coogee Coastal Walk is one of Sydney's treasures, winding along cliffs, beaches, and hidden coves. Along the way, the vast Pacific Ocean stretches out before you, a reminder of the wild beauty that defines Australia. And if Bondi is about energy, Manly Beach is about escape, a short ferry ride from the city. Yet it feels like a world away, with laid-back vibes, surf culture, and endless sunshine. Sydney is also a city of gardens and green spaces. The Royal Botanic Gardens is a lush oasis right next to the Opera House, where towering trees, colorful flowers, and exotic plants frame the harbor views. Wandering its paths feels like stepping into another world, where the hum of the city fades into the songs of birds and the rustle of leaves. For a different kind of nature, Taronga Zoo offers encounters with Australia's unique wildlife: kangaroos, koalas, wombats, and so much more, all set against a backdrop of the city skyline. At night, Sydney transforms into a city of lights. Darling Harbour comes alive with restaurants, entertainment, and fireworks that illuminate the water. The streets buzz with energy. Rooftop bars overlook the glittering skyline, and music drifts out from theaters and clubs. And once a year, Sydney outshines itself during Vivid Sydney, a festival of light, music, and ideas. The Opera House becomes a canvas for dazzling projections. The harbour glows with installations, and the entire city feels like it's celebrating creativity itself. Yet, what makes Sydney truly unforgettable is not just its sights, but its spirit. It's the energy of surfers running into the waves at dawn, the laughter of friends gathering on a ferry, the pride of locals who love their city, and the warmth of a place that feels alive at every moment. Sydney is more than a destination. It's an experience, a feeling that stays with you long after you've left. Standing on the edge of Sydney Harbour as the sun sets, the sky painted in hues of orange and pink, you realize why this city is beloved by millions. It's where modern ambition meets natural beauty, where history meets innovation, and where every moment feels like a scene from a film. Sydney isn't just the gateway to Australia, it's the heartbeat of the nation, a place that inspires, excites, and enchants. This is Sydney, a city of icons, of energy, and of unforgettable wonder. The heart of Australia's Outback, where the sacred monolith of Uluru glows at sunrise and sunset, surrounded by Aboriginal stories and timeless desert landscapes. Imagine a single monolith rising from the heart of the desert, glowing like fire when the sun touches its surface, changing colors with every passing moment. This isn't just a rock, it's Uluru, the sacred heart of Australia, and one of the most powerful natural wonders on Earth. For centuries, it has stood as a silent sentinel, guarding stories, traditions, and mysteries that go back tens of thousands of years. To witness Uluru isn't simply to see a landmark, it's to experience a living spirit, one that humbles you, silences you, and fills you with awe. As the first rays of dawn stretch across the Outback, Uluru begins its daily transformation. Shades of deep purple fade into crimson, then burst into fiery orange and radiant gold. It's like watching the desert breathe, alive and eternal. In the stillness of morning, surrounded by the vast emptiness of the Outback, you realize that this is not just a place, it's a feeling, an ancient presence that you can't put into words. Sunset offers a different kind of magic, when the giant stone seems to burn from within, glowing as if the desert itself has lit a fire inside it. People from all over the world gather at dawn and dusk for these moments, united by wonder, connected by silence. But Uluru is more than its physical beauty. To the Anangu people, the traditional custodians of this land, it is sacred. Every curve, every cave, every mark on the rock tells a story from Chukarpa, or Dreamtime, the spiritual beliefs that explain creation and guide life. The caves, at the base, hold ancient rock art, some of the oldest in the world, painted by hands that pass down knowledge through generations. These are not just decorations, they are teachings, lessons, and histories written in stone. Walking around Uluru's base, you see not only geological formations, but also the presence of stories alive in the land itself. Nearby, another wonder rises from the desert, the Kata Juta, also known as the Olgas. These massive, rounded domes are equally majestic, carved by time and wind, standing like guardians of the Outback. Hiking through the Valley of the Winds, you feel the raw power of nature, with giant red cliffs towering over narrow pathways, the wind whispering secrets through the rocks. Together, Uluru and Kata Juta form a sacred landscape, a reminder that the desert, though harsh, holds deep beauty and life. The Outback itself stretches endlessly, a sea of red earth, dotted with desert oaks, spinifex grass, and hardy wildlife that has adapted to this unforgiving land. It is a place where the silence feels profound, where the horizon seems infinite, and where the stars at night form one of the clearest skies in the world. Far from city lights, the Milky Way stretches like a river of diamonds across the heavens, and constellations from both Aboriginal lore and modern astronomy tell their stories above you. To camp under this sky is to feel both small and deeply connected to the land, the universe, and the people who have lived here for tens of thousands of years. Wildlife in the Outback is just as remarkable. Kangaroos bound across the desert plains, emus stride gracefully, and dingoes roam the wilderness. Reptiles bask on sun-warmed rocks, and birds circle overhead, adapted to survive where water is scarce. Despite the harshness of the land, life thrives here in unique and unexpected ways, a testament to the resilience of nature. Visiting Uluru is also about respect. Climbing the rock was once a tourist attraction, but today it is closed, honoring the wishes of the Anangu people. Instead, visitors are encouraged to walk around its base, listen to indigenous guides, share their stories, and learn about the connection between land, culture, and spirituality. It is a reminder that some places are not just destinations, they are living heritage, and to experience them is to step into something far greater than ourselves. And while Uluru is the jewel, the wider Outback has its own breathtaking treasures. Kings Canyon, with its towering sandstone walls and lush hidden oasis, feels like another world entirely. The McDonnell Ranges near Alice Springs paint the desert with rugged beauty, their cliffs glowing at sunrise and sunset. Waterholes, rare and precious, are scattered like jewels across the desert, sustaining both life and spirit. Each place tells a story of survival, resilience, and the profound relationship between land and people. There's something transformative about standing before Uluru, with the red dust beneath your feet and the endless sky above your head. It makes you pause. It makes you listen. It makes you understand that the earth is not just a backdrop to our lives, it is alive, and it speaks to those who take the time to hear it. The Outback is not for everyone. It is remote, wild, and unrelenting. But for those who venture here, it is unforgettable. It strips away the noise of modern life and leaves you with something pure, silence, space, and a connection to something timeless. Uluru and the Outback are not just wonders of Australia, they are wonders of humanity, treasures that belong to the world, and experiences that leave you forever changed. This is the beating heart of the desert. This is Uluru, the rock that never sleeps, the stone that holds stories older than time itself. A stunning coastal drive featuring the 12 apostles, rugged cliffs, and wild beaches that reveal the raw power of the Southern Ocean. Beneath the turquoise waters of Australia's northeast coast lies a world so vast, so alive, and so dazzling, it seems almost unreal. The Great Barrier Reef. Imagine drifting across an ocean of crystal clear blue, then plunging into a kaleidoscope of color where corals bloom like underwater gardens, fish shimmer like living jewels, and turtles glide as if in slow motion through liquid light. This isn't just a reef, it's the largest living structure on Earth, visible even from space, stretching over 200-300 kilometers. To dive into the Great Barrier Reef is to step into another universe, one of beauty, fragility, and wonder that humbles every soul who sees it. The reef is made up of thousands of coral systems and hundreds of islands, each alive with its own ecosystem. Beneath the surface, the corals form sprawling labyrinths that shelter countless species, brightly colored clownfish hiding in the arms of sea anemones, parrotfish crunching on coral, manta rays soaring like winged shadows, and reef sharks patrolling silently in the distance. Every glance reveals something new. Tiny seahorses clinging to swaying seagrass, giant clams glowing with iridescent colors, and schools of fish moving in perfect harmony, creating living waves that shimmer like liquid silver. At the heart of the reef's magic is the coral itself. These delicate organisms build the the foundation of life here, creating habitats that support more marine species than almost anywhere else on Earth. When sunlight pierces the surface, the corals glow in vibrant hues of pink, green, yellow, and blue, making the entire underwater world feel like a dreamscape. But with beauty comes fragility. The reef faces threats from climate change and rising ocean temperatures, and to witness it is also to understand the urgent need to protect it. Each dive is a reminder of nature's brilliance and of how precious and irreplaceable it truly is. Yet the Great Barrier Reef isn't just about what lies beneath the waves, it's also about the islands and coastlines that frame this marine wonderland. The Whitsunday Islands, with their powdery white sands and turquoise lagoons, feel like paradise itself. Whitehaven Beach, in particular, is world famous for its blindingly white silica sand, which stays cool underfoot no matter how hot the sun burns. Sailing through the Whitsundays is an experience of pure serenity, with emerald islands rising from sapphire seas, each one fringed by coral reefs waiting to be explored. Further north lies Cairns, the gateway to the reef, buzzing with adventurers from around the world. Here, boats depart daily for snorkeling, diving, and reef tours, carrying those eager to witness the spectacle firsthand. A short journey inland takes you to another marvel, Daintree Rainforest, the oldest tropical rainforest on Earth, where ancient trees tower above, waterfalls cascade through hidden valleys, and exotic wildlife thrives. The combination of reef and rainforest makes tropical North Queensland a rare double wonder, two World Heritage sites side by side, each with its own breathtaking beauty. From above, the reef is equally spectacular. A scenic flight reveals heart-shaped coral formations, endless turquoise lagoons, and patterns so intricate they look painted by an artist's brush. Heart Reef, in particular, has become a symbol of this natural treasure, its perfect heart shape reminding us of the reef's connection to love, life, and the earth itself. And then there are the encounters moments that stay with you forever. Swimming alongside a giant sea turtle as it glides gracefully through the water, its wise eyes looking back at you. Drifting near a playful pod of dolphins, their sleek bodies weaving effortlessly through the sea. Watching as a humpback whale breaches the surface in a powerful display, sending cascades of water into the air. These are the moments when time seems to stop, when you feel part of something much bigger than yourself. For Indigenous Australians, the reef has always been more than just an ecosystem. It is a place of deep cultural and spiritual significance. Stories, traditions, and connections to the sea stretch back tens of thousands of years, reminding us that this wonder has been cherished and respected long before it became known to the modern world. To see the reef is to touch both natural history and human heritage, woven together in one breathtaking tapestry. But perhaps what makes the Great Barrier Reef so unforgettable is its ability to transform you. The first time you dip beneath its waters, you realize you are entering a world where humans are outsiders. Here, nature rules with a gentle but undeniable force, reminding you of life's diversity, fragility, and brilliance. The reef speaks in silence, in color, in movement, and what it says is both humbling and inspiring. As the sun sets over the reef, the waters shimmer in golden light, and the islands become dark silhouettes against a glowing horizon. The day fades, but the reef continues its eternal rhythm, teeming with nocturnal life beneath the waves. For those who have seen it, the memory lasts forever, a vision of Earth at its most magical. The Great Barrier Reef is not just Australia's wonder, it's the world's. It is alive, it is fragile, and it is a masterpiece of nature unlike anything else. To stand on its shores, to sail through its islands, or to dive into its depths is to witness the very definition of wonder. This is not just a place to visit, it is a place to protect, to cherish, and to remember as one of the greatest gifts our planet has ever given us. An island of pure wilderness, home to ancient rainforests, rugged mountains, pristine beaches, and unique wildlife you won't find anywhere else. If there is one city that captures the soul of modern Australia, it is Sydney, a place where sparkling waters meet iconic architecture and where vibrant city life flows seamlessly into natural beauty. Picture yourself standing at Circular Quay, the sun glinting off the waves of Sydney Harbour, while the white sails of the Opera House rise before you like a sculpture crafted by the sea breeze. To your right, the steel arch of the Sydney Harbour Bridge towers proudly, its vast frame carrying the heartbeat of the city. This is the moment where visitors often pause, taking in a view so famous, so breathtaking, that it feels almost surreal. Sydney is more than just a city. It is a stage where the drama of nature and human creativity play side by side, each enhancing the other. The Sydney Opera House is not just a building, it is a symbol of Australia itself. Designed by Danish architect Jørn Utzon, its shell-like sails gleam in the sunlight, reflecting the blues of the sky and the harbour. To step inside is to enter a world of music, dance, and performance, where world-class productions continue to make history. Yet for many, simply walking around its sweeping promenades, watching ferries crisscross the water, is magic enough. Across the harbour, the Sydney Harbour Bridge stands like a guardian, linking the north and south of the city. Brave visitors climb its towering arches, rewarded with panoramic views of the city skyline, the Opera House below, and the endless Pacific Ocean beyond. But Sydney's magic does not stop at its icons. The harbour itself is alive, dotted with green headlands, hidden coves, and islands that invite exploration. Ferries carry locals and travelers alike across the water, to places like Manly, where golden beaches meet a relaxed, coastal vibe, or Taronga Zoo, where animals from across the globe overlook one of the most stunning backdrops imaginable. Darling Harbour offers a different flavor, a lively waterfront of restaurants, attractions, and nightlights that dance across the water. Sydney is not a city you simply visit. You experience it through movement, through views that shift with every step. And then, there are the beaches. Bondi Beach is perhaps the most famous, with its sweeping crescent of golden sand, crashing surf, and a culture all its own. Here, surfers carve along waves as sunbathers soak in the rays, and the energy is infectious. Yet just beyond Bondi, a coastal walk leads you along cliffs and hidden coves, all the way to Coogee Beach, a path where the sea constantly roars against the rocks, reminding you of nature's raw power. Sydney's beaches are not just places to swim, they are part of the city's identity, where locals gather for morning swims, sunrise, yoga, and timeless rituals that connect them to the ocean. Beyond the city, New South Wales opens like a treasure chest of landscapes. Just 2 hours west lies the Blue Mountains, a region of rugged cliffs, plunging valleys, and eucalyptus forests that stretch to the horizon. The air here carries the scent of eucalyptus oil, which creates the bluish haze that gives the mountains their name. Stand at Echo Point and gaze at the famous Three Sisters rock formation, or descend into the valleys where waterfalls tumble and trails wind through dense rainforest. The Blue Mountains offer both adventure and serenity, a place where time slows and nature speaks in whispers carried by the wind. Travel north, and you find the Hunter Valley, one of Australia's most celebrated wine regions. Rolling vineyards stretch across the land, producing world-class wines that invite tastings in charming cellar doors. The valley is also a place of gourmet food, luxurious retreats, and hot air balloon rides that drift over the landscape at dawn, painting the vineyards in golden light. Here, life feels indulgent, yet deeply connected to the earth. Further south, the south coast of New South Wales dazzles with wild beauty. White sand beaches, some so fine they squeak beneath your feet, meet turquoise seas where dolphins often play close to shore. Towns like Jervis Bay and Kiama exude coastal charm, where the rhythm of waves sets the pace of life. Inland, rolling hills and dairy pastures give way to national parks alive with native wildlife, offering endless opportunities for discovery. Sydney itself is a city of contrasts. Its modern skyline glitters with energy, while its Royal Botanic Garden provides a peaceful escape where cockatoos squawk overhead and winding paths lead to harbor lookouts. The Rocks, the city's oldest neighborhood, whispers stories of Sydney's colonial past through cobblestone streets and sandstone buildings. Chinatown pulses with vibrant flavors, while neighborhoods like Newtown burst with art, music, and culture. Sydney is as cosmopolitan as it is coastal, as rooted in history as it is in innovation. But perhaps what makes Sydney and New South Wales so extraordinary is the way they balance urban brilliance with natural wonder. Few cities in the world allow you to climb a world-famous bridge in the morning, swim at an iconic beach by midday, sail across a glittering harbor in the afternoon, and then dine beneath the stars with flavors from every corner of the world. Few regions offer the diversity of landscapes from mountain valleys to vineyard plains, from city skylines to pristine coastlines, all within reach of a single journey. As twilight falls, Sydney transforms. The Opera House glows against the night sky, the bridge sparkles with lights, and the harbor reflects it all like liquid glass. The energy of the city pulses, but so does its tranquility, because even here, in a bustling metropolis, the ocean and the sky remain ever present. Sydney is not just a destination, it's an experience, a rhythm, a reminder that the wonders of the world are not only found in nature or in cities, but in the breathtaking harmony between them. The cultural capital of Australia, bursting with art, music, food, and sport. A vibrant city with laneways full of character and the spirit of creativity. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine stepping into a world where time seems to dissolve, where towering trees stretch skyward, their canopies dripping with emerald leaves, and where every breath is filled with the earthy scent of rain-soaked soil and the sweet perfume of tropical blooms. Now open your eyes and you'll find yourself in Queensland's rainforests and islands, a landscape so alive, so primal, that it feels like a glimpse into Earth's very beginnings. This is not just another place to visit, it is an immersion into one of the planet's most ancient and diverse ecosystems, a wonderland where nature speaks in whispers, roars, and songs carried by the wind and waves. Stretching along the northeastern coast of Australia is the wet tropics rainforest, a UNESCO World Heritage Site and the oldest continuously surviving tropical rainforest in the world, older even than the Amazon. Walking through it is like traveling back millions of years into a living museum of plants and creatures that have thrived since prehistoric times. Massive strangler figs wrap around ancient trunks, delicate ferns carpet the forest floor, and sunlight filters through the canopy in golden streams, illuminating flashes of color. Blue butterflies, vibrant parrots, and the elusive cassowary, a giant bird that looks as though it stepped out of the age of dinosaurs. Every sound here is a reminder of life. The call of unseen birds, the distant rush of waterfalls, and the hum of insects that keep this vast web of nature thriving. Cairns, often called the gateway to this region, is where many journeys begin. From here, winding roads lead to places like Kuranda, a village hidden in the rainforest, accessible by a breathtaking scenic railway and a sky rail that glides above the treetops. As you ascend, the views unfold: mountains draped in green, rivers cutting through valleys, and waterfalls cascading down sheer cliffs. At the summit, Kuranda greets you with a mix of indigenous art, markets, and cultural experiences, offering a deep connection to the land and the people who have lived here for tens of thousands of years. But beyond the rainforest lies another wonder, the islands scattered like jewels across the coral sea. Queensland is home to some of the most beautiful tropical islands in the world, each with its own unique character. Fitzroy Island, just a short ferry from Cairns, offers walking trails through rainforest that lead to hidden beaches where the only footprints in the sand might be your own. Green Island, small yet spectacular, is surrounded by coral reefs teeming with life, perfect for snorkeling among parrotfish, turtles, and rays. Further out, the Whitsunday Islands reveal themselves as a paradise, almost too perfect to be real. 74 islands, most uninhabited, lie in a turquoise sea so clear it sparkles under the sun. Whitehaven Beach, with its impossibly pure silica sand, stretches for 7 kilometers, its shoreline swirling in patterns with the tide. From the air, the view of Hill Inlet at the northern end of Whitehaven looks like a painting, a masterpiece of nature's brushstrokes blending blue and white. Sailing through the Whitsundays is like drifting through a dream, calm waters, hidden coves, and star-filled skies at night. These rainforests and islands are more than scenery, they are sanctuaries of biodiversity. The Daintree Rainforest, north of Cairns, is particularly extraordinary. It is the only place on Earth where 2 UNESCO World Heritage Sites meet: the rainforest itself and the Great Barrier Reef, just offshore. Here, freshwater rivers meet the ocean, mangroves thrive along the shore, and coral reefs burst into life beneath the waves. To stand in the Daintree is to witness nature's interconnectedness in its purest form. Forest, river, sea, and reef, all flowing into one another in an eternal cycle. Adventure here takes many forms. Some choose to hike through Mossman Gorge, where clear waters swirl around giant granite boulders in a rainforest oasis. Others take river cruises to spot crocodiles lurking in the shallows, or kayak along quiet coastlines where dolphins play in the waves. For the daring, ziplining through the rainforest. Canopy offers a bird's-eye view of this ancient world, while for the reflective, simply sitting in the stillness of the forest brings a kind of peace that is hard to find anywhere else. Queensland's islands, too, invite exploration and wonder. Hamilton Island offers luxury escapes, where yachts bob in marinas and infinity pools look out to endless horizons. Daydream Island enchants with its living reef, where visitors can interact with marine life in a unique lagoon setting. Further north, Lizard Island is remote and pristine, offering some of the best diving in the world, with coral reefs untouched by time. Each island has its own personality, but all share that intoxicating blend of sun, sand, and sea that defines Australia's tropical coast. Yet, perhaps the greatest gift of Queensland's rainforests and islands is the perspective they offer. In the rainforest, you feel small beside trees that have stood for millennia, yet deeply connected to the cycles of life that continue around you. On the islands, gazing out at the vast ocean, you are reminded of both the fragility and resilience of nature. These places teach us that the world is not just something to be conquered or consumed, but something to be cherished, protected, and celebrated. As the sun sets over Queensland, the rainforest glows in golden light, and the islands are painted in hues of orange and pink. The calls of night creatures begin to rise, and the ocean shimmers under the moon. It is a moment of magic, a reminder that here in this corner of the world, the wonders of land and sea unite in harmony. Queensland's rainforests and islands are not simply destinations, they are experiences that stay with you forever, memories etched as vividly as the landscapes themselves. The oldest rainforest on Earth, where the jungle meets the reef. A mystical place filled with rare species, towering trees, and hidden waterfalls. Imagine standing in the heart of a vast desert, where the land glows a fiery red under the blazing sun, and the horizon stretches endlessly in every direction. The silence is almost overwhelming, so complete that you can hear your own heartbeat. And then, out of this flat, arid expanse, it rises. Uluru, a colossal sandstone monolith, commanding the landscape like a sentinel from another age. This is the red center of Australia, a place that feels more like the beating heart of the continent than just a destination. To come here is to experience something profound, something that stirs both awe and reverence. Uluru is not just a rock, it is a living monument, sacred to the Anangu people, and a symbol of Australia recognized around the world. At 348 meters tall and more than 9 kilometers around its base, Uluru is one of the largest monoliths on Earth, but numbers cannot capture its power. When you first see it, especially at sunrise or sunset, the rock seems alive, shifting colors from deep purple to bright orange to glowing red, as if the stone itself is breathing with the rhythm of the land. Each change in light reveals new textures, caves, and waterholes, all of which hold cultural stories passed down for generations. For the Anangu, Uluru is a sacred site, a place tied to creation stories known as Jukurpa, the foundation of their spiritual and cultural law. Visitors are invited to learn and respect these stories, and in doing so, they gain a deeper appreciation for the connection between people and place. Walking around the base of Uluru is an unforgettable experience. Trails lead you through desert vegetation, past ancient rock art sites, and to hidden waterholes where wildlife gathers. At Mutijulu Waterhole, you may spot black-footed rock wallabies or listen to the song of native birds echoing in the stillness. Guided tours led by Anangu rangers or cultural interpreters bring the land to life, weaving history, spirituality, and nature into a tapestry that reveals Uluru as far more than a geological wonder. It is a sacred living landscape, but Uluru is not alone in the Red Center. Just 50 kilometers away lies Kata Chuta, also known as the Olgas, a group of 36 massive domed rock formations spread across more than 20 kilometers. While Uluru is a single monumental presence, Kata Chuta is a collection of giants rising from the desert floor, each dome unique in shape and size. The name Kata Chuta means many heads in the local language, and walking among them feels like entering a world sculpted by ancient gods. One of the most popular treks here is the Valley of the Winds Walk, a challenging but rewarding trail that takes you deep into the heart of Kata Chuta. The views are extraordinary, towering walls of red stone surround you, the wind whistles through narrow gorges, and the desert floor blooms with wildflowers after rare rains. This place, like Uluru, carries deep cultural significance for the Anangu people, and its energy is palpable, a reminder that the land holds wisdom far older than human memory. The Red Center is not just about rocks and deserts, it is about the spirit of the Outback. The nearby town of Ulara, which serves as the gateway to Uluru and Kata Chuta, provides modern comforts while maintaining a deep respect for indigenous culture. Visitors can experience bush tucker tours, learning about the traditional foods and medicines of the desert, or witness performances of music and dance that share the stories of the Dreamtime. Stargazing here is another unforgettable highlight. With almost no light pollution, the night sky reveals itself in dazzling clarity. The Milky Way stretches across the heavens. Constellations shine with ancient brilliance, and shooting stars trace fleeting paths of light. For many, the ultimate way to experience Uluru is by watching it at dawn or dusk. Sunrise paints the monolith in delicate shades of pink and gold, while sunset ignites it in fiery reds and deep purples. These moments draw travelers from around the world who gather quietly to witness the spectacle. Yet even in the company of others, the experience feels deeply personal, as if Uluru is speaking directly to you, sharing a secret that cannot be fully put into words. Beyond the natural and cultural wonders, the Red Center also challenges you to reflect. Here, in this vast and seemingly harsh desert, life thrives in surprising abundance. From resilient desert plants to unique wildlife like dingoes, parenti lizards, and wedge-tailed eagles, every living thing is a testament to survival and adaptation. The desert may appear empty, but look closer, and you see it is brimming with life. Just as the seemingly lifeless stone of Uluru holds deep spiritual meaning, traveling to the Red Center is not just about seeing iconic landmarks, it is about feeling them. It is about standing in front of something so immense and ancient that it makes your everyday worries seem small. It is about recognizing that you are part of something much larger, a story that began long before you and will continue long after. This is why people return to Uluru and Kata Chuta, not just once, but again and again, because each visit offers a new perspective, a new connection, a new piece of wisdom carried home like a treasure. As the sun dips below the horizon and the desert cools, Uluru becomes a silhouette against a sky filled with stars. It stands as it has for millions of years, watching, waiting, enduring. And in that moment, you understand why this place is sacred, why it commands such reverence, and why it leaves an imprint on the soul of every traveler who comes here. The Red Centre is more than the center of Australia, it is the center of its spirit, a timeless reminder of the power, beauty, and mystery of the natural world. A tropical dream of turquoise waters, white, sandy beaches like Whitehaven, and sailing adventures through paradise. Close your eyes and imagine stepping into a world where the air feels purer, the forests older, and the landscapes wilder than anywhere else you've ever been. A place where mountains plunge into the sea, rivers cut through deep gorges, and ancient rainforests whisper stories that go back tens of thousands of years. This is Tasmania, Australia's island state, a land that feels both untouched and timeless. For many, Tasmania is the hidden jewel of the continent, a destination that combines breathtaking wilderness with rich history, making it one of the most unforgettable places you'll ever visit. Tasmania is often described as the edge of the world, and for good reason. Sitting south of the Australian mainland, it is surrounded by the wild waters of the Southern Ocean, making it feel remote and isolated. But that isolation has preserved something extraordinary, some of the world's most pristine natural environments. Nearly half of Tasmania is protected as national parks and reserves, and within them lies a diversity of landscapes so striking that they almost seem unreal. One of the crown jewels of Tasmania is Cradle Mountain Lake, St. Clair National Park. Here, jagged peaks rise dramatically against the sky, mirrored by the glassy surface of alpine lakes. The park is part of the UNESCO World Heritage-listed Tasmanian Wilderness, recognized for both its beauty and ecological importance. Hiking trails wind through ancient forests of pencil pines and myrtle beech, past mossy streams and hidden waterfalls. The Overland Track, a 6-day trek through this wilderness, is one of the world's great long-distance walks, offering a chance to immerse yourself fully in Tasmania's raw, untamed beauty. But you don't need to hike for days to feel the magic. Even a short walk around Dove Lake at the base of Cradle Mountain reveals scenery that seems plucked from a painting. In autumn, the deciduous beech, Australia's only winter-shedding tree, turns fiery shades of red and orange, transforming the landscape into a living canvas. Wildlife is everywhere. Wombats graze casually by the roadside. Tasmanian devils scurry through the undergrowth at night, and platypuses ripple the surfaces of quiet streams. Tasmania is also home to some of the world's most extraordinary coastal scenery. On the east coast lies the famous Wineglass Bay, consistently ranked among the most beautiful beaches on Earth. From the lookout above, you see a perfect crescent of white sand, lapped by turquoise waters, framed by pink granite mountains. It's a place so stunning that words almost fail to capture its essence. Whether you hike down to the sand, sail across the bay, or simply stand and take in the view, Wineglass Bay leaves an impression that stays with you forever. Further south lies the Tasman Peninsula, where towering sea cliffs drop straight into the ocean. Here, you can explore the dramatic rock formations of the Tasman Arch, the Blowhole, and Remarkable Cave, each shaped by centuries of relentless waves. Boat tours reveal colonies of seals basking on the rocks, pods of dolphins leaping through the surf, and even migrating whales passing close to shore. The raw power of nature feels almost overwhelming here, reminding you of the sheer force of wind and water. Yet Tasmania is not only about wilderness, it also carries a deep and sometimes haunting history. At Port Arthur, you'll find one of Australia's most significant historical sites, a former penal colony where convicts once lived under harsh and unforgiving conditions. Walking among the preserved ruins, from the sandstone prison buildings to the lonely Isle of the Dead, gives you a glimpse into the struggles and resilience of those who were once exiled to this far corner of the world. Port Arthur is a place of reflection, where the beauty of the landscape contrasts with the weight of its past. The island is also home to vibrant culture and thriving food scenes. Hobart, Tasmania's capital, combines colonial charm with modern creativity. Its waterfront buzzes with markets, art galleries, and restaurants serving some of the freshest produce you'll ever taste. The Salamanca Market, held every Saturday, is a feast for the senses, offering everything from handmade crafts to gourmet cheeses, local wines, and artisan chocolates. Just outside the city, the Museum of Old and New Art Mona offers an experience unlike any other, with bold and provocative exhibits that challenge the imagination. And then, there is the night sky. Far from the lights of big cities, Tasmania offers some of the best stargazing in the southern hemisphere. On rare nights, you may even witness the southern lights, or aurora australis, painting the sky in shimmering ribbons of green and purple. Standing under that celestial display, with the sounds of the wilderness around you, is nothing short of magical. Tasmania is also a sanctuary for unique wildlife. Beyond the iconic Tasmanian devil, the island hosts rare species found nowhere else on Earth. The quoll, the patamelon, and the eastern bettong are just a few examples of creatures that thrive here, protected by the island's isolation. Birdwatchers will delight in spotting the endangered 40-spotted pardalote, while marine life enthusiasts can marvel at colonies of fairy penguins waddling ashore at dusk. What makes Tasmania so special is the way it blends extremes. It is wild yet welcoming, ancient yet alive, rugged yet refined. You can spend one day hiking in remote wilderness and the next savoring a glass of world-class Pinot Noir at a local vineyard. You can explore the eerie silence of a convict ruin in the morning and by evening be dining on freshly caught oysters while watching the sunset over the Derwent River. For those seeking adventure, peace, or a deeper connection to nature, Tasmania offers it all. It is not just a destination. It is an experience that awakens something inside you. When you walk through its forests, climb its peaks, or stand by its windswept coasts, you feel as though you've entered a world that exists outside of time. And when you leave, Tasmania doesn't really let you go. It lingers, calling you back, whispering with the voice of the wild. Tasmania is proof that sometimes the most extraordinary wonders are found on the edges of the map. It's a place that demands to be felt, not just seen, and one that rewards every traveler with memories that will last a lifetime. From Perth to the Pinnacles Desert, Ningaloo Reef, and the remote Kimberley, discover landscapes that feel untouched by time. Imagine diving into a world where the colors are brighter than any artist could paint, where life teems in every direction, and where silence is broken only by the crackle of coral and the distant calls of whales. This is the Great Barrier Reef, an underwater wonder so vast, so breathtaking, that it can even be seen from space. Stretching more than 300 kilometers along the coast of Queensland, it is not just the world's largest coral reef system, it is one of Earth's greatest living treasures, a fragile but awe-inspiring ecosystem that feels like stepping into another dimension. The Great Barrier Reef is home to an astonishing variety of life. More than 600 types of coral form the foundation of this marine paradise, creating structures that serve as shelter and food for thousands of species. As you glide through its turquoise waters, schools of vibrant fish swirl around you like living rainbows, parrotfish crunching coral with powerful jaws, angelfish gliding gracefully, and clownfish darting in and out of sea anemones, their tiny fins moving furiously. Turtles drift lazily through the currents. Manta rays soar like underwater birds, and reef sharks patrol the edges, their sleek bodies cutting through the water with effortless power. The scale of the reef is staggering. Covering an area larger than Italy, it includes more than 900 islands and nearly 30 individual reefs. Each section has its own unique personality. Near Cairns, the reef is easily accessible for day trips, offering crystal clear waters perfect for snorkeling and diving. Further north, around Cape Tribulation and the remote Ribbon Reefs, you'll find untouched stretches where the coral seems untouched by time. The Whitsunday Islands offer another magical perspective, sailing through their sapphire waters, anchoring at dazzling beaches like Whitehaven, where the sand is so pure and white it squeaks beneath your feet. One of the reef's most extraordinary experiences is night diving. As the sun sets and darkness envelops the ocean, a whole new world awakens. Bioluminescent plankton shimmer like stars. Predators emerge from the shadows, and the reef takes on a mysterious, otherworldly glow. Imagine floating weightlessly in that blackness, surrounded by glowing flashes of light, your torch revealing creatures you'd never see during the day, giant trevally hunting, crabs scuttling over coral, and sleeping parrotfish nestled in mucus cocoons. It's a reminder that the reef never sleeps. It's alive, dynamic, and constantly changing. But the reef isn't just a natural wonder, it's also a place of deep cultural significance. For the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples, the reef is part of their ancient stories and spiritual heritage. Known as the Sea Country, it has been a source of food, navigation, and cultural meaning for more than 60 years. Exploring the reef through this lens gives you a greater appreciation of its value, not just as an ecosystem, but as a living connection between people and nature. Above the water, the reef is just as enchanting. Islands like Heron, Lizard, and Hamilton offer escapes where the rhythm of life slows to the sound of waves and the songs of seabirds. Heron Island, in particular, is famous for its turtle nesting. From November to March, female turtles haul themselves onto the sand to lay eggs under the stars. Weeks later, tiny hatchlings emerge, scrambling toward the sea, each step a fight for survival in a world filled with predators. Witnessing this cycle of life is both humbling and heart-stirring. It's nature's drama playing out in front of your eyes. For adventure seekers, the reef offers endless possibilities. Snorkeling is the most accessible, letting you hover above coral gardens just a few meters below the surface. But for divers, the deeper you go, the more the reef reveals caves, drop-offs, and towering bommies swarming with marine life. Some of the most famous dive sites, like Cod Hole and Osprey Reef, are legendary for encounters with giant potato cod, reef sharks, and swirling schools of barracuda. For those who prefer to stay dry, glass-bottom boats and semi-submersibles allow you to glimpse this underwater kingdom without getting wet, while scenic flights offer jaw-dropping views of the reef's vast, swirling patterns from above. Of course, the reef is also a fragile wonder. Rising ocean temperatures, coral bleaching, and pollution threaten its delicate balance. Yet, despite the challenges, parts of the reef remain vibrant and full of life. Conservation efforts, guided by science and indigenous knowledge, are helping to protect and restore this ecosystem. Every visit, every dive, and every glimpse beneath the surface becomes a reminder of what's at stake and why this wonder must be preserved for generations to come. What makes the Great Barrier Reef truly unforgettable isn't just its size or beauty, but the way it makes you feel. Floating above a coral garden, surrounded by kaleidoscopic fish and drifting currents, you realize how small you above are in the grand design of nature and how interconnected life on this planet really is. The reef is not just a destination. It is an experience that reshapes your sense of wonder and deepens your respect for the living world. The Great Barrier Reef is more than a place to visit. It's a place to feel alive. It's a reminder that beneath the surface of our oceans lies a world as complex and breathtaking as any landscape on land. And when you surface from its depths, carrying memories of colors, creatures, and moments that feel like dreams, you'll understand why the Great Barrier Reef is one of the greatest natural wonders of the Earth. A journey across cultures, wildlife, landscapes, and cities, weaving together everything that makes Australia a land of wonder. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine standing before one of the most recognizable skylines in the world. The sun glints off the shimmering waters of the harbor. A masterpiece of modern architecture rises with sweeping white sails, and just beyond it, an elegant steel arch stretches gracefully across the horizon. This is Sydney, the beating heart of Australia, where natural beauty collides with urban brilliance in a city that never stops dazzling its visitors. Sydney isn't just a city you see, it's a city you feel. From the hum of its bustling streets to the salty air carried by the waves of Bondi Beach, Sydney captures your senses and refuses to let go. At the center of Sydney's magic is the iconic Sydney Opera House. Leaves you with the sense that you're touching something iconic, something larger than life. Just across the water lies another marvel, the Sydney Harbour Bridge, affectionately called the Coathanger by locals. Its massive steel frame is both functional and spectacular, carrying cars, trains, and pedestrians across the harbor. But the most unforgettable experience is the bridge climb. Imagine fastening a harness, climbing its arches, and standing 134 meters above the sparkling waters, with panoramic views stretching from the Blue Mountains to the Pacific Ocean. As the wind brushes against your face and the city unfolds beneath you, you realize why this climb is considered one of the greatest urban adventures in the world. But Sydney's beauty isn't limited to its skyline. Its beaches are legendary, drawing sunseekers, surfers, and wanderers from every corner of the globe. Bondi Beach is the most famous, with golden sands curving along the shore and waves rolling endlessly for surfers. The Bondi to Coogee Coastal Walk takes you along cliffs and bays, each turn offering another postcard-perfect view of the ocean. Just a ferry ride away, you'll find Manly Beach, where the relaxed vibe, long surf breaks, and seaside cafes make it a favorite escape. And if you're searching for quieter corners, Palm Beach and Bronte offer slices of coastal paradise away from the crowds. Sydney is also a city of green havens. The Royal Botanic Garden, right next to the Opera House, is an oasis of lush lawns, exotic plants, and peaceful harbor views. Walking among towering fig trees and blooming flowers, with cockatoos screeching overhead, you forget for a moment that you're in the middle of a major metropolis. Further inland, Centennial Parkland stretches across sprawling grounds perfect for cycling, picnics, and horse riding, a reminder that Sydney thrives on its balance between nature and urban life. For those who love history and culture, Sydney's neighborhoods tell stories of the past and present. The Rocks, one of the city's oldest districts, is a maze of cobblestone streets, sandstone buildings, and lively markets. Here, pubs that date back to the 1800s stand side by side with modern art galleries, blending old-world charm with contemporary energy. Meanwhile, Darling Harbour buzzes with attractions like the SEA Life Aquarium, wildlife parks, and waterfront dining. Then there's Chinatown, where the aroma of sizzling noodles and dumplings fills the air, and colorful lanterns light up the streets at night. Sydney is also a city of festivals and celebrations. Each New Year's Eve, millions of eyes around the world turn to its harbor for the breathtaking fireworks that paint the sky with color. During Mardi Gras, Oxford Street comes alive with one of the most vibrant and inclusive parades in the world. And during Vivid Sydney, the entire city transforms into a canvas of light, with buildings, bridges, and streets glowing in dazzling displays of creativity. Yet perhaps the most captivating part of Sydney is how effortlessly it connects people to the water. A simple ferry ride becomes an unforgettable journey, gliding past the Opera House, under the Harbour Bridge, and toward destinations like Taronga Zoo, Watson's Bay, or Manly. Each ride offers a fresh perspective of the harbor, a reminder of just how beautiful this city is when seen from the water. And then there's Sydney's food scene, vibrant, multicultural, and bursting with flavor. Fresh seafood dominates, from oysters enjoyed on the harbor to fish and chips by the beach. But Sydney is also a melting pot of cultures, offering everything from authentic Asian street food to world-class fine dining. Enjoy a coffee in one of the trendy inner-city cafes, savor a meal overlooking the harbor, or grab a bite from a bustling food market. You'll taste the diversity of the city in every bite. Sydney is more than Australia's largest city. It's its vibrant soul, where every street, every wave, and every skyline view has its own rhythm. It's where modern life meets natural wonder, where the sun rises over sparkling beaches and sets behind skyscrapers glowing in the twilight. And whether you come for the iconic landmarks, the beaches, the culture, or the food, one thing is certain: Sydney will capture a piece of your heart and never let it go. When you stand by the harbor at night, with the opera house glowing before you and the bridge lit up behind it, you understand why Sydney isn't just a destination, it's a dream, alive and real, waiting for you to step into its story. Thanks for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed exploring Prague as much as I enjoyed guiding you through it. If you found this travel guide helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more beautiful destinations from around the world. Got a favorite spot in Prague? Drop it in the comments, I'd love to hear from you. Until next time, safe travels, and see you in the next video.